Hello, Gemini, and welcome. This is Infinite Fire Readings. Good to have you here. Here we are, mid-June, second last week almost, pretty much, for you, Gemini. So, yeah, you might have Gemini in your chart. You might be cross-watching for a Gemini. That's all fine by me, whatever works for you. Keep in mind, these are just cards. This reading is for your entertainment. So take what resonates, throw away the rest. If it doesn't fit, just keep in mind, it is a general reading. So it may not be your reading if it doesn't match. Most likely not if you have to stretch it immensely to fit. So check out some other readings out there as well. Check out your other star signs. You know how it works. Check them all out and then see if you can find something that does fit your situation. But hopefully we can get some nuggets of wisdom for you, Gemini. That would be great. Anyway, let's get on into it. So I'm going to be using the Wild Unknown Tarot for 5 cards for your current situation, 5 of this more traditional deck for advice, and then at least 1 Archangel Michael card for your, just more insights and advice for you, Gemini. So let's get on into it. Let's do it. It's funny, I feel like I've been taking forever to do these readings, but they've actually been shorter. So my brain's a bit slowed down maybe, or just feels like it's a lot longer. All right, Gemini, let's get on into it for you. Alrighty, Gemini. What's going on with Gemini? Please, what's happening in their current energy? Also, I'm not showing the cards as much because I'm a little bit further away today, and obviously my saturation's a little bit high. The glare's going to probably impact that, so I might adjust that. Probably not though. I'm probably not going to today, so just going to have to deal. Interesting. Heavy stuff, Gemini. You've got the World coming up, sorry to start with, just to let you know what I'm seeing. In the reverse though, so maybe just not feeling like your world is complete right now. Not feeling like everything's in place perhaps, or maybe you're exiting a cycle and entering a new one. That could very well be the case as well, actually. Yeah, because it is in the reverse here. And the next following that is the 10 of Swords. So that's death, endings, situations being over, done and dusted, old thoughts being sent to pass. In the middle, I'm just going to adjust. Don't mind me. There you go. In the middle of your reading, you have the Empress, which is a very nurturing card. So maybe doing a bit of self-nurturing at the moment, or nurturing others. You might be feeling creative. That's a possibility, but I'm not really getting that. Not from the first 2 cards that have come out at all. Next up's the 2 of Wands. So maybe looking at your landscape, looking at your environment around you, assessing it almost, or just having a look at your landscapes. And the 5 of Pentacles in the reverse, I like that, Gemini. So coming up out of the cold. If you were feeling left in the cold, you're now coming up out of it. It looks like a heavy week, to say the least, or a heavy situation. Okay, on the bottom of the deck is your own energy, Gemini. This actually also came out for Aries, so you might be dealing with an Aries. But yeah, the Lovers is also about decisions. So you might be sort of thinking about love. Oh my God. I swear on my life that came out for Aries after this one, but in the upright. That's crazy. Sorry, that blew me away. Yeah, so you might want to check out the Aries reading, just saying. Yeah, Gemini, you've got the Lovers card, which is your own energy, but maybe thinking about love, decisions about love as well. The Magician in the reverse is about not manifesting. So maybe you feel like you're not manifesting something in your life, or you don't want to. Manifest can simply mean create as well, like create something in your life, if that makes it more easy. And the Father of Swords, so being very direct, very truthful, very to the point about something as well. The Chariot, maybe not feeling like you have all of your energies harnessed right now, maybe feeling a little bit all over the shop as well. So interesting, Gemini. Yeah, so the world, not feeling like you've got the world in, like, I guess not feeling like you have everything fulfilled in your world, maybe. At the moment, death and endings here. Not death as such. The Ten of Swords is definitely completions, and it is something being dead done. I mean, like the ox is being just completely stabbed here. It's a bit of a gruesome card, albeit black and white. It's like a Kill Bill scene, but they've taken out the color. So, yeah, no, it's I don't know. I joke a little bit more, but humor. But it's basically about things being finished, complete, final. It could be old thought systems. It could be things, thoughts, and maybe you're recognizing that something is complete in your world. So that's sort of what I'm seeing here. The Empress is about nurture, and I think you might be doing a lot of self-nurturing right now. Just because that's kind of what that card is. It's to do with mothers as well. It's a very fertile energy also. Just with where it is, though, I feel like and the progression of the cards, I feel like it's coming from a dark place into sort of a better place. So I feel like there's this darkness, this, not feeling complete, realizing things are done and over, or something like that. And then, the Empress is doing that self-nurturing, I guess, that you do after you realize all these things. And then it's got this looking at your landscape. So the Two of Wands is assessing your environment. It's not planning, it's looking at it. It's going, okay, well, where am I at now? And then the Five of Pentacles in the reverse is coming up out of the cold. So it's actually it's a nice energy at the end of the spread. I feel like pretty heavy energy, but you lifting out of it, Gemini, which is nice. It is nice to see that. I think this nurturing energy is really good. It does feel a bit sad though, because the tree is in the dark and there's a lot of darkness, and then there's color that sort of comes up out of it, which I like. I like that. All right, what else is going on, Gemini? One more shuffle. Anyway, could have gotten advice sooner, but that's all right. What advice, please, for Gemini? For the Gemini. The Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. The Two of Wands as advice underneath the 10, which is interesting because you have it in the upright in your situation further on. Yeah, okay. So what I'm seeing so far, Gemini, is if you're feeling like your world isn't complete, the advice is the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse, which to me is about in the upright, it's like toiling diligently, trying like a lot of labor, a lot of work, trying to like even reaping the rewards. This almost says like to me, stop doing so much, or step away from all the burdens a little bit. If you're feeling a bit, it indicates to me. This one nearly wanted to come out. What is it? The Nine of Cups. Okay. I'm not taking it though, but I thought I'd tell you what it is. Then again, under the Ten of Swords, you have the Two of Wands in the reverse. So if you are realizing that something is over or things have ended in some kind of situation in your life, it could be that you, again, don't look at where you're at just yet. If you're processing that, you can just, again, just accept it. And it doesn't mean that you have to, it could also be like, don't affiliate that loss with where you're at now. That's also a meaning that it could be, because it is about looking at where you're at now with things, but it's in the reverse. So maybe don't do that. Just if you're acknowledging and processing some kind of ending, You don't have to connect it to now, or maybe don't look at your environment and that thing. Don't, like, then maybe they're not as linked as, or don't link them or something like that. I think it is just process it, really. I think it's just like, if you're grieving, just grieve. Don't make it about, like, grieve whatever the loss is, but don't be like, oh, and look at my life as well. Like, don't do that. That's not helpful. That's what that card sort of says to me. Don't put it in the now. If it's something in the past, grieve it as for it being done, but don't associate it with now. Like, that they're almost separate things in a way. Or, not that I know that, it's not that it's saying that, but it's saying not to do that. So kind of what I feel, Gemini. Just grieve what it is without making it about the present. That's the best way I can put that. All right. The Empress. So a lot of nurturing. The advice card is the Ace of Swords in the reverse, which is basically, don't worry about having clarity right now. You don't need to know everything. You know, don't overthink it as well. Maybe you just need to be in your feelings a little bit. Interesting, Gemini. Beautiful. So then, I guess once you've processed it and you've grieved it and you've sort of just allowed yourself to feel the things, rather than being like, tick, 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 I need to solve it. Like, just no. Be in here. That's what this is saying, and don't overthink it. The Two of Wands is like, okay, now I can look at it. So at first it's like, don't do that. If you're processing it, don't look at don't look at your current environment. Just process what you got to process with whatever this ending is. Then once that's done, you can look at where you're at and then make forward plans, baby, because this is the Three of Pentacles. It doesn't mean that you're just going to like springboard into this, happy-go-lucky, euphoric place. I mean, that'd be great. But it does mean that you can assess where you're at, what it is you want, now that you've processed it all, and start planning for what it is you want. So you're like, well, this is where I'm at. That's what happened. It's done. I've grieved. I've processed, or whatever this is. I'm nurturing myself. I have the capacity right now to look at my environment. And then now that I can see where I'm at, how do I want to move forward from here? Like, how do I want to progress? It's coming from the past perspective and nurturing yourself, and then coming into a forward perspective. That's really sort of the energy I'm feeling here. Because then you have the Five of Pentacles, which is lifting up out of the cold. Oh, thank you for the thumbs up, by the way. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Really supports my channel. So it means a lot to me. I said the Nine of Cups. Look what came out. They do. They'll come out if they want to. That's crazy. Beautiful. That's such a good card to end on, Gemini. What a reading. Seriously, this has been a heck of a reading. Heavy reading, I should say. Pardon me. Bless, bless, bless. You've got the Five of Pentacles in the reverse, sorry. So coming up out of the cold. So looking at your environment, planning, and then coming up out of the cold. The advice is the Nine of Cups. And I did pull that before, and I put it back in, and it wanted to come out as your next card in sequence, which is beautiful. Very beautiful. I love serendipity like that. So yeah, it just makes me feel even more confident about the reading. Nine of Cups, to get to the point, is about focusing on your dreams and your wishes. So focusing on what it is that you want. And I feel like some of you could be like, what is this, a Disney story? Like, no, it's not what I'm saying. I mean, focus on what it is you actually want. Now that you've processed things, and if you're in this moment where you can actually look at your environment and think about what it is that you want and plan for that. If you are coming up out of the cold, go for your dreams and go for what you actually want. Maybe you want, to travel. Maybe you want a relationship. Maybe you want a pet. Maybe you want to go study. Maybe you want to, you get what I mean? Like, go after what it is you want. Maybe you want solitude for a while. Whatever it fucking is, really, like, it doesn't matter. It just is about going after what you want. Doesn't have to be a big, F off dream. I like that I mute my swear word there, but I was happy to swear before. I just don't want to swear too much, I guess. Yeah, so cool, Gemini. I like that. Let's get you an Archangel Michael card. I feel like that's the one that's broken out there. I'm just going to take it. Interesting. Pay attention to your dreams. It's coming up here. Really interesting card. I need this card in my life right now. I'm having wacky dreams. So it's funny that's come up. But this is obviously for you, Gemini. So if you are having some interesting night dreams, you might want to consider looking at them, maybe looking at the symbolism in them. You could even get a dream journal and start writing about them if that's something that, you have the capacity to do, or something that if you do remember your dreams as well. There's a great book by John Cahoe, I think it is, called Mind Power. And he talks about basically the psychology of like the subconscious mind giving us symbols about things that, sometimes we don't listen to in our daily life because there's so much going on that we're actually trying to communicate with ourselves about things when we can sense that things are off or things are right or whatever. So if you want to do that, you can process those dreams, look at the symbolism and try to understand the meaning in the dreams. Though it could also be pay attention to your goals. So your dreams as in your life dreams, like what you want. And that did come up here as well. So it does have a multi-meaning, Gemini. Pay attention to what you actually want as well in your life. It definitely could be something to think about. That's it for you, Gemini. That's your reading. I hope that it gave you something, some kind of nuggets of wisdom. Please do also like and subscribe if you like my channel. It means a lot to me. It really supports me. It helps me grow. So thank you. And I'm going to move on now to Cancer. So you are welcome to join me there. Otherwise, have a wonderful space time wherever you are, Gemini, and I will catch you next time. Awkward sign off. Bye.